Yeah, so welcome to my next interview. My next interview partner is Jeff West from the Moffitt Cancer Center. And Jeff has to tell us wonderful stories about our online presence as a community. But before I go there, Jeff, maybe you just introduce yourself just quickly.
Sure. Thanks for having me. My name is Jeffrey West, and like you said, I'm at Moffitt Cancer Center. Before then, my academic journey started in Ohio at an engineering school there before moving to the University of Southern California to do my PhD in applied mathematics.
Hmm.
So, coming from an engineering background, I was always more interested in applications of medicine rather than the theory side of things. So, the natural next step was to move to Moffitt to try to move mathematical models into clinical trials. In particular, I was really interested to come to Moffitt because of the adaptive therapy clinical trials, which I had the opportunity to sort of build patient specific models for prostate cancer adaptive therapy.
So now, so you did engineering first, and now you work on cancer modeling. So what got you interested in cancer modeling?
Well, first of all, I think I was sort of had the mindset of somebody thinking about dynamical systems and control theory. And so I was very open when I went into grad school. I wanted to do something related to control systems or dynamical systems, right? And so then when I met my PhD supervisor, Paul Newton, he was interested in working on game theory models in cancer. And so it was more of a theoretical biology type PhD,
Yeah.
but what I was really curious about doing my postdoc was applying that modeling to clinical data and using the theory and building on that.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then, how did you get in contact with the cancer people?
With the cancer people, so yeah, I was part of the PSOC and CSBC programs. So I got to meet a lot of people and listen to some talks of, the people really taking clinical data and math models and combining them together in interesting ways to make predictions. So I was connected to that community through the grant funding agencies from a PhD student all the
Okay.
way through a postdoc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, very good. Yeah. All right.
yeah,
And so now at the Moffitt Cancer Center is, of course, a unique opportunity to work with clinicians firsthand
it is.
and with patient data. So what are projects you are involved in?
Yeah, it is a unique opportunity because that's why our department is called Integrated Mathematical Oncology,
Hmm.
and our goal is always to try to integrate our mathematical models with either experimental data or clinical data. And so these days, my group is called Evolutionary Dynamics, Interactions, and Therapy, which stands for EDIT. So the goal is to try to edit cancer therapy
Yeah.
to improve cancer outcomes. And in particular, I'm interested in clonal hematopoiesis and therapy related malignancies, as well as any sort of spatial statistical agent based modeling linked to multiplex imaging data.
Oh, wow. Okay. This was
Yeah,
very complicated.
yeah, two very different fields,
Yes.
but those are both my interests, loosely connected through evolutionary
Yeah.
dynamics.
But then, so Jeff, you came in my life through your role in online propagation of
That's
our
right.
area.
Yeah,
So you were instrumental in setting up the newsletter, the Math Onco newsletter, which now evolved into a website, right? The mathematical-oncology.org.
that's right.
So in the video, I will kind of write it underneath so
Awesome.
people can see it.
That's great.
I think this was a fundamental step. Actually, it really brought the community together, and it really helped, yeah, helped us to meet each other and see what's going on around the world in
Thank
different
you.
areas. So what made you to do this?
Yeah, it's actually an interesting story. So back in my engineering days, I also did an entrepreneurship minor, and that sort of had me adopt the mindset of selling and platform building and these
Oh,
kinds of things.
okay.
And so what I learned in that minor was that email is king, and actually for product development, people would collect a large list of emails and try to sell their products over email. And
Hmm.
so I had this mindset of starting an email newsletter, for academic purposes, because that was my, newfound love is academics and math oncology. So I was never a very good entrepreneur, never very good at making any money, but at least I could sort of use that skill set to help serve the math oncology community. And in particular, it's really paid dividends for my own life and being just aware of the breadth and depth of types of papers that
Yeah.
were being written. Yeah, and
I mean, you did it all voluntarily, right?
that's
So you must have spent countless hours to set this up.
it is true, yeah, but we're supposed to, stay afloat with the current literature. So it was really helpful, and I was thankful that my postdoc supervisor Sandy Anderson was willing to let me spend a lot of time on that. And then one thing that we did in particular was, you might think it'd be more difficult to do the newsletter every single week,
Right.
but it actually was a huge advantage to us, because if we had done it once a month or once a year or once a quarter, then we'd sort of have to distill down the literature to what we would consider as this is the best, right, of Math
Right.
Onco.
Okay.
So it actually helped us by just saying, here's everything, right? We're not necessarily saying what's
Unfiltered,
good
right?
or
To
bad.
just, yeah, just list
Exactly.
everything. Very good.
So the field itself can make the decisions about what floats to the top,
Yeah.
but we just communicate what is everything.
And then part of this is also the Math Onco blog, and
Yeah.
I had the chance to write a few articles there. Was this also your idea?
It was David Basanta's idea.
Okay.
So he was one of the original blog post people. And what he really noticed is that a lot of scientists had individual blogs, and it might be nice to collect them all together so that we could have more of a recurring post in one single place and have some interaction between the community, which was
Right.
happening to some extent already. But it was all organized in one place then.
And you said like you have like 88 authors or something
Yeah,
on the blog.
that's right.
This is absolutely awesome. So
Yeah, it is.
encourage the viewers here to consider writing a Math Onco blog.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
a great experience.
it is. Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for writing your posts as well. And that
You're
was
welcome.
really, you were one of the early adopters, I think, in the Math Onco blog. So
Yes.
we appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, somehow your activities on the internet and social media also motivated me to make this YouTube channel.
Yeah, I appreciated that. In an era where sort of social media is more fragmented, you're actually willing to sort of be the change that you want to see in the world and make something new and contribute content.
Yeah, and this is
yeah.
these media are there, right? We might as well use them
Yeah.
for our benefit. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's my first time on YouTube, so.
Oh, I see.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
you will be more and more exposed also to graduate education or student education?
That is
Or
true.
have you been working with students already?
Yeah, so IMO at Moffitt does have a PhD program,
Right.
which has just graduated some of its first students. So it's a PhD in cancer biology with a focus in mathematical oncology. So we try to train students both in cancer biology and the math modeling. So that is one source of the students that I work with, and then we also hire postdocs at Moffitt a lot as well.
Okay. Do you have postdocs in your group?
I do have one postdoc and one PhD student. So
Nice,
still
okay.
growing the lab in the
Yeah.
early stages. Yeah.
Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to ask you, which is about collaboration inside the clinic.
Right.
So you meet with doctors and you sit like at a table and talk about stuff? Or?
Yeah, we can. So our department is right across the street from the main clinic at
Right.
Moffitt. And most of the clinicians at Moffitt are physician scientists. So they have some percentage of their protected research time devoted to research. And sort of one of the sort of the gold standard of making our way through at least the math oncology department is we want to identify one clinician that we work closely with, as well as one experimentalist in that same field.
Okay.
And so those are the sort of triangle of collaborations that we aim for in every project if possible.
And how do you find the collaboration?
Well,
It might be challenging to find a common language, right?
yeah, that is a great question. And I'm glad you asked, because one of the primary ways we start collaborations is through the IMO workshop, which is coming up in a few months, usually at the end of October and beginning of November. Every year we start with those three phenotypes of researchers: clinicians, experimentalists, and math people leading a team of students. And we don't find out about the teams as the math faculty until the day before. And so it'll be a completely new collaboration for us too. And we're trying to simultaneously start that collaboration and teach our students how to develop those scientific conversations from the very first word.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
It is fun.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you even have an award, right, for the winning proposal or something?
It is, yeah. So we're competing for some pilot grant funding where
Wow.
the project that is proposed can actually come to fruition, and we can do some experiments later in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a really unique situation you're in.
It is,
It's
yeah,
really cool.
very thankful. And so, if anybody listening wants to apply for the workshop or come visit us at Moffitt, we'd be happy to host. And there are travel awards for that as well.
Yeah, so I make sure I post the link
Awesome.
on the video as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, this is a wonderful interview. It's great to have you here. So thank you for having the time to talk to me.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. I really appreciate everything you've done for the field as well.
Wonderful. Good.
Awesome.